Okay, so as I got the new rotors in for the Cutlass, I got the calipers rebuilt, which was my last video. When I pulled the old rotors off, I noticed something that was kind of interesting. In place of this spindle washer, somebody at one time put just a regular flat washer on there. If you look on your spindle, it's got a little keyway type deal that little indicator slides in, keeps this washer in place and allows you to put the correct preload on your bearing. With that flat washer in there, it allowed everything to spin, and you can see my some people call this a castle nut. It's actually called a spindle nut. Allowed it to spin. So after a trip to several auto parts stores, I should say, I was able to get what they call a spindle nut kit, which comes with a new spindle nut, the washer, and a cotter pin, which I have an assortment of cotter pins that I bought through Summit Racing for like $4. So I really don't need this, but I'm going to go ahead and use it because it came with the kit and there's no sense in pulling another one out of my assortment when I have one. I went ahead and picked up new bearings. This is the old bearing. It doesn't feel bad, but in these rollers, when I was cleaning the grease out of them before I repacked them, there was lots and lots of metal shavings. Bad deal on bearings. So what I picked up was National brand bearings, inner and outer wheel bearings, and they come with the bearing, obviously, and bearing races. The rotors I bought came with the races already installed, so I really don't need these. What I'll do is I'll just take my calipers and mics and check them, just make sure they're the right dimensions for what I need. What I wanted to go through today was just the very, very basics of packing bearings. Now they sell bearing packers, I guess is what you would call it. Basically you fill this cup with grease, put your bearing down in it, push down this handle, and it pushes all the grease through. What you're trying to do when you pack your bearing, get a pointer here, is you want to get your grease to go up in between your cage where your roller bearings are at, and then come out the top so that your bearing's fully lubricated. What I chose to use was Valvoline full synthetic grease. Just picked it up at regular auto parts store. And what you'll do is you'll get a dab of your grease, put it in your palm, and then just kind of do one of these motions, pushing the grease up into your cage there, and keep doing that until you get it full penetration around the bearings or needles, whatever you want to call these. Actually I think they're called roller bearings. Till you get full penetration all the way through. Here's one I've finished. Obviously it's greasy because I just packed it with grease, and you kind of get an idea what I'm going for. And when you reinstall these into your rotors, put a little grease on your races, on your spindle a little bit, and there's also grease seals that go in the back of your rotors, which I'll show you that. They're with the car at the moment, which is obviously not in the house. And as you'll probably notice, I'm doing this on the kitchen table with the wife's not home, so it's okay. I'll have it all cleaned up before she gets here. There's something else I was going to say. Oh, on your bearings you have two different sizes, a smaller one and a larger one. The larger one goes on the back, and they go in like if this is the front facing out towards your tire, that's how it goes in. The back one goes in like that with the taper forward. The one by your spindle nut goes in that way, which if you're taking it off the car, just put it back the same way it came off basically. All said, the bearings were like $10 a piece, so they're fairly expensive. Of course, they're National brand. You can get DriveWorks or whatever the local auto parts brand is a little bit cheaper. They didn't have two of the cheap ones, so I got the step up to the Nationals. So like I said, about $10 a piece. The spindle nut kit was about $5. Grease about $5. So stay tuned. I should be this evening putting brakes on the car, or getting the rotors and all that put back on. And if I remember to bring the video camera with me, I'll make a short video of that.